My name is Joshua Fiore. I'm 22, and I'm based out of San Antonio, and this is Financial Audit.
San Antonio. Okay, so what do you do for a living in San Antonio?
So I'm currently in between places right now, so I kind of go back and forth between San Antonio and Austin, and occasionally San Marcos. I actually have a job right now up in Austin.
Really?
But I'm still in San Antonio. I'm just kind of saving up to get my own place.
Wait, what's your job in Austin?
I'm just an Amazon delivery driver, but
Oh.
I'm actually based through a third-party company called Akala.
Oh, okay. I bet that's super busy right now.
I was super busy with all the
Holidays.
holidays and like
Yep.
Christmas. It's just too much.
What are you making?
I make $18.75 an hour.
How many hours a week do you work?
I work every day except for 2 days, so 5 days, and I start at 11:30. We're supposed to end at 10, but sometimes we get out earlier, sometimes we get out later. It just depends on
What do you
volume.
think you average on a weekly basis, though, hours-wise?
Maybe like around 45, 50.
Okay, so 45 hours a week at $18.50. Is there overtime?
$18.75.
$18.75. Is there overtime?
Yes.
What's the overtime?
I think it's just time and a half.
Okay. So you're probably making like $8.50 a week before taxes?
About roughly. I mean, with my first check.
Does that sound low or high?
Maybe like a little bit high. I haven't really got my first full paycheck because I already...
Oh, you just started this?
Yeah, I just started. So I got my first one, and there was some training pay on there as well. But my first check came out to at least $1,100 after taxes.
What are you paid every 2 weeks?
Yeah, biweekly.
Biweekly. And it was $1,200 after taxes. Well, are you contracted? So do you have to pay taxes later, or is it automatically taken off for you W-2?
W-2.
Okay. And that was like $1,200 again?
Like 1,100.
Oh, so $2,200. And you're moving to Austin from San Antonio?
Anywhere in between. Like I'll take Kyle or Buda.
So how are you going to live off of $2,200 a month?
Well, I mean, I'll be getting about 2 checks a month.
2 checks of $1,100 a month would be $2,200.
I mean, yeah.
How are you going to live off of $2,200?
And we make it work.
Okay, but you expect to.
Yeah.
So you've only been doing this for a little bit. What job did you do before this?
I was just working at a bar.
Working at a bar, okay. Why'd you stop that and transition to this?
So I was just a bar back, and they only wanted female bartenders, so I couldn't bartend.
Oh, okay. You didn't want to go bartend somewhere else?
I mean, I thought about it, but I just needed like a job that's going to be steady money, and that was definitely it.
Well, I definitely want to talk about what you want to do in general to make money and like what the rest of your life looks like, but we'll get to that. Before we do that, just, well, first of all, make sure you're subscribed, as one of the first 50,000 subscribers here will win $1,000 if we haven't already hit that. So make sure you're subscribing. We're growing quickly. Help support the channel. Love you. Thank you. How would you describe your financial situation overall?
I mean, as of now, I feel like I'm definitely on a come up rather than what I was at. Even though $2,000 is like not a lot in a month, it's definitely a lot for me.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, I've never been financially stable other than when I was 19, I got my own apartment and I was paying all my bills by myself, but that was in the past. We kind of lost it all, but up till now, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so 2,200 seems like a lot to you, which is, I mean, it's good. I mean, it is a good amount of money. To be clear, well, I mean, that's like what, mid-20s, $30,000 a year. I don't know. It's just very hard in this very expensive area. Yeah. This whole stretch on I-35, very expensive. What were you making before then, if this seems like a come up?
I mean, just because working at the bar was definitely not a lot of money. I was making, I think, $10 an hour, but I did get tipped out 20%, but the 20% was never enough.
I think you were making actually pretty low. Or, well, I guess you just weren't in this town, but either way. So you're on a come up. What does a come up mean to you? Just because you're making more money?
Just because I'm making more money and I'm going to be able to support myself again.
And where were we at before?
Staying with friends.
For how long?
A while.
How long's a while?
I would say pushing about 8 months.
So for 8 months, you were just couch surfing around?
Kind of, yeah.
So you're essentially homeless.
Yeah.
But not in like the traditional way of like sleeping on the street that someone pictures when you think homeless, but you didn't have a place to call your own.
Nope.
Were your friends getting like annoyed of that or anything? Like,
no, honestly, my friends loved me.
Okay, good.
They actually enjoyed having me around. which kind of kept me staying around longer. And me and my friends also just don't make good choices, so we would go out and drink, so I wouldn't save money. But I mean, they were never pressuring me to get out. If anything, they just kind of enjoyed the company. So,
well, getting back to your financial situation again, you say you're on a come up because you're making more money. What else are we looking at?
Just getting my own place again, not having to ask people for money to borrow. Just
you were asking people for money to borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Why? If you didn't, so you didn't have. What were you borrowing money for? Didn't have rent.
To pay bills.
What bills did you have?
My car bill as well as my phone bill.
So car debt, vehicle debt?
I think I have about $8,700 to pay it off till.
Okay.
But it's only I think a $220 payment every month.
We'll definitely take a look at that. And you were borrowing to pay a phone bill?
Yeah.
So if you were bartending and making money, why did you need to borrow money for this $300 a month, essentially, with your car bill and phone bill combined?
Because I was making terrible choices.
What were these terrible choices?
I just went out and drank way too much.
So just partying every single night?
Yeah.
Are you addicted?
No, I wouldn't say I'm addicted.
No. How often do you go out?
I used to go out all the time. I definitely slowed down quite a bit. I used to go out every day, but that's when I was working at the bar.
Every day, wow.
Because when I was working at the bar, we were able to drink, so technically every day I was drinking.
All right, yeah.
But now with this new job I have, I just kind of go home and go to sleep.
I also see credit card debt, though.
Yes.
You failed to mention that when thinking of your financial situation. Is that not incorporated in your mind to your overall finances?
I do think about it because my credit score has taken a big hit because I used to have 780.
Oh, that's great.
Because my dad set me up on a credit card when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I just had amazing credit once I started out. The only reason why I got an Apple Card, I think it's at a 500 something now. I actually just got a 30-point increase today. I don't know how.
That's a big drop. So what did you do? Was it?
So I was being very good with the card. Everybody tells you not to pay off the full amount every month, but I was, and
not everyone says that, but okay.
Well, a lot of people were telling me that, but it was going really well, and I was always paying it off, and my credit score just kept going up and up, and then that's when I was kind of addicted to drinking.
Really?
Yeah.
This was an actual time?
Yeah, it's when I was 20.
So 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It's not like you're old, you're 22, so that's very recent memory.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of recent. Feels a little in the past already.
Well, what was making you drink and go through these addictions?
There was somebody I met at the bar that was working, and I had taken a liking to them, and I just went to always go see them.
How did that translate to the addiction, though?
Oh, because I always went to go see them every day. Because they worked at the bar.
But why did that mean you had to drink? And in your own words, you said addiction. So.
Oh, because I wanted to drink. If I'm at the bar, I want to drink.
But there was nothing like that in your life in general that was that was your coping mechanism.
Definitely drinking made me feel less stressed, just because I could just get out of my own world. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, I didn't really have anything to stress about. But if anything, alcohol was the thing that caused me to stress and then spend way too much money.
Do you feel you still have this issue?
No, I'm definitely a lot better about it now.
How often do you go out now?
Maybe 1 or 2 times a week.
All right, well, let's look at your checking account, see what's happening here. So beginning balance $37.54, in $655, that's not a lot. Out $692, $0 wait, there's a $0 balance on here.
Because I only have cash on me right now.
Oh, why are you carrying around cash?
Because my first check was paper, and I don't do mobile deposit on Chime because they made me wait up to a week or 2 to get my deposit once.
Well, it's time to switch checking accounts then.
Yeah, but...
Because, I use Chase, and Chase isn't known for being the nicest people in the world, but I can deposit a check instantly, and I can get my everything, direct deposit instantly and everything through work.
I've been thinking about getting a new bank. It's definitely something that's going to come up with all these changes for me soon.
Lots of Buc-ee's, so driving a lot. You say you're in between different cities. Then Panera Bread and Wonder World Center. You're transferring money. Oh, no, that was transferring in. Apple Cash, SMTX Lounge, Harper's. And then gas again, traveling a lot, and money transferred in, Venmo out, Tortilla Grill, Zaxby's. There's, whoa, your Verizon bill. Oh, your phone must be financed.
Mm-hmm.
What phone do you have?
Like an iPhone 10.
10?
Or iPhone X, whatever it is.
Well, when did you get that? I mean, that's like, iPhone 10 was like 5 years ago.
I mean, I might have already paid off the phone bill. I'm at my, like,
so
my phone.
$157, that's not just coverage.
I think I just have a high phone bill. Because I have, like, one of the highest plans.
Well, stop that.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know. I have T-Mobile here. I get coverage everywhere. Verizon's usually the best, like nationwide. T-Mobile is the best for this city specifically in terms of coverage. $70 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's less than half of what you're paying. I don't know. I think there's some financing in there. It's kind of weird because $160 is a lot for just a single line.
Also, late fees.
Okay, and it's probably because you don't have money in here. I mean, if they withdraw... Okay, what happens right now if your Verizon bill is due? What happens? There's $0 in here.
Oh, well, I pay it manually.
So late fees, why are you allowing late fees?
Because that's when I didn't have money.
This is this month.
Oh, well, that's because... So that's...
Oh, sorry. Technically last month.
So that's where it comes into I was asking people for money. And with this new job I just got, I was actually able to pay off my debt to everybody.
Wow. Okay, so when we're talking about this borrowing for money, we're talking literally weeks ago. How much debt did you owe to people?
Only $450.
That sucks. And it's split up between like friends or something?
No, just 2 people.
Friends though? Or family?
Friends.
Okay. Bobcat Quickie, GameStop, $30. I don't know people actually went in there and bought things anymore.
Yep.
Takura, La Fonda, More Gas, SMTX Lounge, go there a lot. Green Parrot, Takura, La Fonda, Check in the Box, Uber Trip. I mean, Cash Apping out, Phoenix Internet. Okay, you gotta have internet. Oh, but that was actually that was money in, and Cash Apping out again. So at this point, you know what's not in here? You say, okay, because I take all my money out and I'm only carrying cash on me. You literally spent every single cent that was in here because at this time, the transferring out was not included in the statement. So every single cent in here was spent, mostly on BS.
No, so all the cash I have right now, I went to a HEB and I just have it put it into my account.
No, that's fine, but $0 in a checking account, terrifying.
Yeah.
There's. Do you have any of your bills on auto bills?
No.
Or are they all manual?
It's all manual.
They kind of have to be in your situation if you're doing it like this. Whatever your up and up situation looks like, we'll need to see, but we want you to go, like, actually be on the up and up, and we'll talk about ways to get out of these terrible debts that we're about to jump into.
Mm-hmm.
So, first on the debt train, an Apple Card. Okay. Yeah. Especially for the income you have. $7,000 is not a fantastic balance.
No.
So, over what time period were you just accumulating this debt? Because you didn't even make a purchase, so this looks like this debt is something we've been having. Oh, no, yeah, okay, we have monthly installments. So what's this $999 that you're monthly installing? There's $249 that you're monthly installing and $199 that you're monthly installing. Total finance, $1,447. And then the rest is probably just purchases for the other thousands and thousands of dollars on a 25% interest rate.
So the installments are paid off completely. So
Okay.
Apple had a thing going on. If you want to get a product, they will have you pay over 12 months with no interest on it. But so I already have all of that paid off. That does not contribute to the debt.
Hold on. Me. Okay.
But the rest is...
No, you know it's... You are past due $1,133. Past due. Why are you not making your payments, at least minimum monthly payments on this?
I don't have any money.
Okay. This is a scary situation. Past due over $1,000 on a credit card. You are past due like a sixth of this. And you have a slight smile on your face. Does that not make you want to vomit? I feel like I'm going to throw up all over this desk.
I just don't know how to react. I just been dealing with it day to day.
Okay, so I mean, in order for the past due to get that high, that means you must have been missing payments for a very long time. Very long time.
I'd say maybe up to like a year.
A year of not paying on your credit card? So, okay, I don't want to harp on someone's past too much because we're in a place where we're going to look for the future and what to improve upon. But I have to know, as we're planning out for the future, why for a whole year, if you knew this was so bad, were you doing absolutely nothing? Why? What was holding you back?
Myself. I wanted to have fun. I was young. I mean, I'm still young, but I didn't care about the consequences. I didn't care about what's going to happen.
You just chose to ignore this. Just completely ignore this just for the sake of just around and having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Good. No, I'm glad. That's an important thing to acknowledge. What is your mindset on that right now?
I mean, I definitely want to clean up. I mean, I cleaned up a good amount of my act now, but from here on, I definitely want to, settle this balance, get my credit score up, get my own place. But, it's going to come in increments. Getting my own place is main priority. And then from there, once I'm more stable, I would definitely love to get this out of my inquiries. I don't know what you would call it.
How do you spend money? Do you budget? Obviously not. But do you look at what you're spending and like kind of at least track and understand what's being spent on?
I mean, I used to do that, but I just started living paycheck to paycheck, and it was just kind of from there. I just made sure I had enough money to do what I wanted to or what I needed to do.
Over $1,000. $1,000 charged in interest this year. $1,000. Half of what you make in your better paying job each month was taken from you this last year. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is not anger at you. This is just anger at the debt situation, and I feel it. Like, I picture myself in this situation, and I want you to do better, but this is bad. I don't think we've seen someone do this with a credit card ever before. This is crazy.
No, I used to be very bad.
When we're talking used to, though, I mean, we're literally talking weeks ago.
No, I mean, worse.
What was the switch that flipped? When did you decide we're on the up and up? What made you get this new job? What made you want to move here? What made you want to start paying all this stuff? What happened?
Well, so I finally quit the bar. I really just wanted to be a bartender, and it just wasn't going my way. And I just also knew, even if I became a bartender, was it going to be the money I need? So I just decided to go with this job that's going to have set pay. I mean, the hours kind of varied just a little bit, but not enough for me to worry. So I just got tired of bumming off people.
Yeah.
And it takes a toll on you.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, you essentially did that for a year. What made you turn around I'm just going to go have fun, and actually maybe start taking care of my for the first time in my life? What flipped that switch?
Because I kind of already got all the fun that I wanted, and...
Oh, that makes me nervous. What if you all of a sudden just like start taking care of this stuff for a little bit, and then you've had a nice little pause, a nice little vacation from the constant fun, and that just rears its head back in?
I'm honestly not too worried about that.
Why?
Because I know it doesn't make sense with everything I've done in the past, but I feel like... I'm not going to say I'm a totally different person, but I'm going to say, for the most part, lessons are learned. Okay. And, I will still make my mistakes, but not as severe as I already have. We
all make mistakes. I've made a stupid amount of mistakes in the past in many different ways. You've made a stupid amount of mistakes. You're making mistakes right now. I'm making mistakes right now. We'll all make mistakes in the future. What's most important is we learn from them either in the moment or slightly after, and then learning from them, we develop our lives to, try to be better in the future.
Yeah.
That's okay. Being able to actually acknowledge that is a very good first step. This past due, it's crazy. It's because of the interest. Oh, man. Okay. That's... Okay. That still blows my mind. That's just wild. Let's look at this car thing. You opened it in 2021, so... late 2021, so it was just a year ago. It was like before your whole bumming off of people. 61-month term. That's why your payment's so low. 61-month term. Mm-hmm. Yeah, monthly payment $220. You've paid $1,378 in interest, but only $1,000 to principal. And that's just kind of how it goes anyway with interest paid up front. But what a number of times past due, eight times past due, and you've only had this for a year. So 8 months out of the last 14 months you've had this have been past due. 8 of 14. No wonder. I can't wait to look at your credit. It has to be terrible. This is crazy. Number of times with inefficient funds, 2. Number of past times due, 8. 14% interest. Rounded up. 14% interest. What is this car? What even is this car?
I drive a 2013 BMW Active Hybrid Series 5.
How'd you get a BMW?
I loved it. And I got a good price on it, too, for it being a BMW.
Are you sure? How do you know?
I just do.
BMW what?
Series 5 Active Hybrid.
Are you sure you got a good deal on it? Because I'm not sure. You owe... well, the original balance was $9,000. You currently owe, or $9,524. You currently owe $8,586. Not underwater, but you probably only have. Oh wait, well I don't know. It depends on the condition. How's the condition?
Honestly, the car is really nice. There's just like one blemish on the backside, but that's just because somebody did like a hit and run. But it's nothing too serious. It can honestly be buffed out. The seats aren't in the best condition because it's leather. But overall, it's a very nice looking car.
Yeah, you probably have like $1,000 equity if you're lucky. Man, because I almost want you to sell this, but you can't with your situation. You don't have a place. You're in an impossible situation, and at least you have $1,000 of equity in. Oh, man. Okay, because this interest rate is terrible on this. It's financial death, this interest rate. And 8 times past due. We just can't do that. We can't do that. So literally all of your money, every single cent of your money was just going to alcohol. It really was. Because if you couldn't, on a bartending job, whatever, pay $220, then literally every single cent must have just been getting just hammered every night.
Alcohol and gas, honestly.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, dude. But again, it's in the past. What I'm so afraid is the thing that is really tricking me up right now, and why this feeling that I have isn't just like, okay, it's in the past, whatever. This past was weeks ago. Weeks ago. Even if we're talking the long-term past for when this started, we're talking a year ago. Mm-hmm. That terrifies me. You're not terrified?
No.
Why? You're very confident in this. Why? Where's this confidence even coming from?
I wouldn't exactly say it's confidence. It's just sometimes it's better not to just dwell on old things.
No, sure. It's good not to dwell on old things, but the fact that this literally just stopped. Why are you so confident that it's not going to continue after you have a hard day, hard month, or the living situation doesn't work out the way you want? Why are you so confident that you are doing a full 180 as of like a week ago?
I got to act like that so I can do it.
Okay. Let's take a look at the Credit Karma. At least you're not in the 400s. But 528. You were in the 400s? Okay, so you have gone up. Let's see why. Why do you even have Credit Karma? Why do you even care about your credit score if like this is something that you just haven't cared about? What's like, there's a switch that flipped, and I still don't know what it is.
I used to care about my credit score. That's when like I still had a 780 and I was paying off my credit cards all the time. But then I just hit that rut where I just started drinking.
I think it's the Apple Card closing. What? Okay, because you just haven't paid your Apple Card in forever, they closed it, it looks like?
That's what I'm assuming.
So how are you spending money anymore?
What do you mean spending money?
How much cash do you have?
Oh, right now I probably have about $900.
That's dangerous. 93% payment history. That's bad. 4 Capital One. auto finance payments within that's being reported on here. We obviously saw more. 8 missed payments. Credit age is great, and that's because of the thing you talked about with your dad. I mean, that's the best credit age I've ever seen for someone in their 20s. That's incredible. At almost 10 years. Total accounts 3. Let's take a look at these because we only looked at 2. So you do have a Capital One credit card somewhere.
Oh, so the third one is under my dad's, but I don't use it anymore.
Okay. So you both might be on it or something? Because it's on your credit, so.
Well, so it's basically his card, but it has my name on it.
Yeah.
So you could technically call it my card, but I don't use it at all.
That's the only thing keeping your credit alive because it's at 0% utilization. And then your Apple Card, yeah, it was closed for you. 124% utilization. It's crazy. So that's going to go into collection soon. If it's not, have you started to be hounded yet?
I've only been called by them like maybe...
Is it Apple or a third party?
Apple. Well, Goldman Sachs, because that's the bank that owns the Apple Card.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I've only been called like 3 or 4 times. I haven't been called too many times, honestly.
Well, they're going to sell it off. And then that's going to hurt your credit card or your credit score if that's something you care about because you'll be in collections. And then, I mean, the time you would have to wait for it to fall off your credit would be essentially worthless because you'd be like 30 at that point. Like we want your life to be better by then. It looks like you've applied for a good amount of credit over it. Well, most of that was in 2021. You're trying to, Toyota, you're looking for car loans there. So last year. Yeah. You probably weren't getting a lot of good approvals for car loans, were you?
Well, it wasn't more so that I wasn't getting the approvals. We were just trying to see how much it was going to cost, and they said it wouldn't be a hard inquiry if we checked what the pricing would be to like do a loan.
Okay. But you told me before this as well. It's not on here, so they haven't put it in collections or anything. You said you owed money somewhere else too.
I just owe 2 banks money.
Why do you owe them money? How much? Who? What? Where? Why?
Well, you're about to get really mad. So with my Apple Card, I had this bank, and when my card was maxed out and I needed money, I paid off my card with money I didn't have in my bank account, and it went through, and I spent the money on the Apple Card.
And then the Apple Card ended up becoming maxed out again. So how much is owed?
I believe like $400.
$400? Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not too much.
Bright spot. And what about this other bank?
The same thing.
400?
Mm-hmm.
You did the same thing?
Yeah.
So $800. That's okay. That is not crazy. That's not crazy. 800 total due to banks. Okay. So are you ready? Honestly ready to turn your life around?
I'm not going to say I'm going to do it the best way, but yes.
What do you mean? What does that even mean? We haven't even gotten into it yet, and what does that mean?
I mean, I don't think I'm going to have a full 180, but I definitely think I'm going to change a good majority of it. I mean, it's going to take time, but...
So you're not willing to do what's necessary 100% to just fix this?
No, I will, but I'm saying there's going to be mistakes that are going to be made still.
Sure. Okay. I don't like that we know mistakes are going to happen. I don't like that we're preemptively trying to excuse ourselves for them. Like, I don't like that. So let's get out of that mindset.
Okay.
Let's pursue this full on like we are in a firestorm of death, which you are financially speaking. I mean, you still don't have a home to go to tonight, do you? That's not your friends.
That's not mine, yes.
Because rent, I mean, you couldn't get anywhere Austin in rent that isn't 50% of your income currently. And this is with working 45 hours. 1875, that doesn't seem right. I mean, if it's 1875 and you're actually going to be working, I think your wage is going to be higher. I mean, it better be.
I mean, I'm not 200% sure just because I haven't seen a full check yet, other than when I started training and then my next week of actually working.
Because even if you just work 40 hours a week times 2 divided by 12, that should be $3,250 a month. That is a drastic difference.
Because I can pull up what my hours look like right now if you want.
Well, I mean, you just tell me, how many hours a week are you going to work on average?
Well, it's about 9 to 10, what it's looking at for 5 days. 9 to 10 hours for 5 days, yeah.
Okay, so you should be making at least, I think, well, after taxes, probably close to $3,000 if you're doing all that. So let's assume that is your money, because we have to have. If it's not, then you quit that job and you get you something that gets you $3,000 a month after taxes immediately. And there's a lot of places hiring. I need to post a picture online. I always bring up the Panda Express thing that I always walk by. They're hiring managers, $90,000 a year. You walk in there, you apply, go through the interview process. They accept you or not based on your resume. But then you go through their whole, Panda University, like McDonald's University or whatever, and you become a manager, $90,000 a year. It's kind of incredible. But $30,000, either way. So what I'm saying, if this doesn't work, if you're not getting that money, you go desperately trying to find another job immediately. I know for a fact there are people, basic, average, normal people making $60,000 a year after maintenance, after gas, after taxes, Uber eating in Austin and Postmating.
So I've thought about doing Ubering, but I'm just not old enough yet.
What about Uber eating though?
I usually do DoorDash.
Okay, so that works.
Especially when I was strapped for cash, I would DoorDash occasionally.
Good, we're going to talk about that. But $3,000 a month. This is where we are now. You're going to have to find yourself a place to live here at some point.
Well, it doesn't have to be here.
Or are you going to work in the city?
So I work off like Metropolis. So if I'm like in San Marcos, it's like roughly a 40-minute drive if there's a little bit of traffic. I was also thinking like Kyle or Buda.
Okay, it doesn't matter where you live. I don't care. What matters is I'm going to put a price cap on what you're allowed to spend on rent. You might have to get roommates. You might not have to. You might have to live in the middle of nowhere. I do not care. You might have to commute. $1,000 after rent and utilities and trash and blah, 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 and blah. $1,000 is the max in your current position that you can spend. You should try to get lower, but I know in this area, very hard. $1,000 will go to rent. Health insurance. Are you on your parents?
I lost it.
Why?
Because I'm based on the military, TRICARE. Once you're 21, you lose your health insurance, unless if you go to college.
Did you ever do college at all?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. And that's okay. That's fine. Is that something you want to ever think about?
I think I'm thinking about pursuing something else that doesn't require college.
Like what?
Real estate.
What about real estate?
Just a real estate agent.
Okay. Well, not entering the right period for that, unfortunately. But not that, a lot of people are going to make it, but it's really what this new real estate market is showing, the people who, just like everyone making money investing in the stock market, well, the stock market was going full bullish. Everyone was making money in that hot real estate market these past couple of years, and now it's separating those who are actually good at their job and those who are not.
No.
As the real estate market has slowed down. And same with swing traders and day traders. So $1,000 goes to rent. We're going to say after gas, and you pay car insurance, I assume?
Actually, my mom still does.
Okay, as long as you have it. What was your car payment again? 200 something.
Like 220 something.
220. So we're going to say after gas. How much you spend on average a month on gas? You probably don't even know.
I couldn't really give you an accurate answer.
A lot, because you drive far. So we're going to actually just do car payment plus gas at $400, which sucks, but probably minimize driving for BS reasons once you get a place. No more past dues on the car loan. That's not a thing anymore. We don't do that. That's unacceptable. So to recap where we are, $1,000 on rent, $400 on your car payment and gas. And then included in that rent is all your utility costs and everything that would cost their internet. All that together, $1,000, no more. No more. And try to get less if you can. Then $400 on car and gas. So, health insurance, is it offered through work?
It is offered through work. It's just I need to ask them more about it, because usually when I get hired onto a job, they give me like some type of like paperwork and stuff about it, but I haven't got anything, so it's something I have to ask about.
Yeah, definitely ask about that and probably get on it.
But it should be offered. That's what I read when I was reading the job description.
Yeah, and then you'll pay monthly, most likely, with that position. We're just going to say, just to like assume it's bad, like $200 a month. That would, I think for a workplace, that'd be pretty intense. Actually, I feel pretty ignorant on that right now. Yeah, sure, we can say 150. 150 goes to health. Because it just depends the job, the company, the sector that it's in. So again, 1,000 rent, 400 car, 150 health insurance. From there, you in your new place, what sucks is you can't do this now because you're just nomading around. $300 a month is the max amount of money you're allowed to spend on food.
Okay.
And that is all groceries that you are packing sandwiches for work. You are cooking home or you're meal prepping, you're cooking food. You can buy snacks and stuff like that. It's fine, but $300 is max. We do not go out to eat a single time going forward. You also don't go to a single bar and buy a single beverage. You can drink at home with friends and they can pay for it. Or no, you can go to bars and stuff, but someone else is paying for it. You cannot in this situation. You're in a disaster. Okay. You're in a death spiral of pain and suffering that will never stop unless you actually get serious about it. So right now, with all those combined, 1,000 plus 400 plus 150 plus 300. Congratulations. $1,850 a month is your budget. So this is always easier said than done. Mm-hmm. Always. And I don't think I recognize that enough here. But the thing is, it is still not official financial advice. What I would do if I were in your shoes, knowing what I know about how big this mess is and how much worse it can get if you do not address it immediately, it is a drastic emergency that this is happening. So that's why I capped that rent and everything and all utilities and internet and car and gas and then your health insurance, just hoping it's around that, if not less, of course. And then no other spending on anything other than $300 a month on food. That means your total monthly spending is $1,850. It feels unrealistic. It's not if you grow up. Whatever. If you act like an adult with responsibilities and knowing that we got to get done because we're in a bad place and we are going to act like we're 22 years old and we have responsibilities. So now you have $1,150 left. Yay. What do we do with that immediately? The $800 you pay that off, and that's paid off within a month. Mm-hmm. Then maybe the rest of it you put in a savings account just in case anything happens, rent and stuff like that. What I want to do for this Apple Card, the month after that should go to paying off that back owed. That should go to paying off that back owed at least, because that is it's holding you down. It's bad. People are going to sell it off, and people are going to start hounding you, and it's going to be years and years and years of mess. So all of a sudden the banks are paid off, and your back due on the credit card is paid off. What you have to do from there is this extra $1,150 you have on a monthly basis for the next 5 months or so, maybe 6 months. You're putting all that towards this Apple credit card, and you're paying it off. Then you have no more credit card debt in less than half a year. I mean, that's really cool. That's not crazy. 22 and a half, maybe 23 at that time, whatever your age will be, no credit card debt. That's awesome. Being from the hole and the pit and the death you were in to a place of awesomeness. That's why we talk about this really restrictive budget, because we know how incredible it is on the other side. So if you're willing to do that sacrifice, that is why we go hard. From there, the car situation is a rough situation.
So the car situation is going to get fixed.
Go on.
Because I can actually pay my bills now with this new job I have.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about missing payments anymore.
What are you talking about? In this whole situation? No. Missing payments, that wasn't even a part of the conversation. You're never going to miss a payment again for the rest of your life. This car mess is the fact that you're at a stupid high interest rate.
I thought you said car. I'm sorry.
Car. The car mess, the debt on this car. It's because you're on a stupid high interest rate with a horribly long payment period. It's bad. And you're never missing a payment again. That wasn't even a part of the discussion. That's not even something that's even being considered ever again in the rest of your life. No. Oh, okay. So what I would personally do, what I actually would do for the other 6, 7, 8 months at that point, I would continue to pay aggressively. Luckily, I would continue to pay aggressively that $1,250, $1,150 a month towards this car, paying it off early. Mm-hmm. In a year to a year and a half, you don't owe the banks anything. You don't owe a credit card anything. You don't owe Capital One anything for your car debt. In a year to a year and a half, depending on how hard you go. Mm-hmm. What would your life look like at that point if you did not have all this hanging around your neck right now?
I mean, definitely a lot better, stress-free. I mean, there's always going to be stress, but I mean, this is like the biggest leading of stress for me has always been me ignoring the credit card, me looking at all the debt I have. And I mean, sure, I didn't really make any actions towards it. So, I mean, I'll take ownership of that, but I mean, it's definitely been hanging over my head a lot. So honestly, I think life would just feel, I don't know, I just feel like I have something lifted off my shoulders.
And it's about to get worse too, that extra stress, because it's going to be sold off to collections, then they are going to hound you.
Yeah.
So knowing everything you just said is the sacrifice of not having a single ounce of fun and cutting back drastically your lifestyle for a year to a year and a half. Does that seem reasonable? Does that seem like something you would do to completely rid your chest of all the pressure that's being put on it from the debt as you just explained?
I don't know if I could stick to it strictly because there's no point in lying on that. I will definitely make a lot more changes where this can be more doable, but I don't think I can't just have no fun. But
well, I mean, okay, I should rephrase. You can have fun, just not fun that includes spending money.
Yeah, well, I mean,
parks, walks, you can go to bars and restaurants, someone else pays, hang out with friends at your place, at their place. There's a lot of things that can be done without spending money. You don't have to go to restaurants. You don't have to buy drinks at the bar. You don't have to go to theme parks or whatever the heck you do. I don't care. You don't have to do it. Mm-hmm. But continue.
I mean, I'll definitely be better about the money, but I definitely don't think I couldn't spend it on anything else. It won't be like my spending habits have been before, but I mean, I'll definitely add it to my budget to set aside a certain amount where that's all I can spend on fun.
How much?
Well, I'd have to see when the time comes. I'm not too sure.
No, how much? How much? We laid out like what everything will cost and how much money you have. How much goes to fun? You have $1,000 rent, utilities, everything like that. $400 car, gas. $150 will go to your health insurance, hopefully less. $300 to groceries and things like toilet paper and stuff. How much goes to fun? There's $1,150 left.
$150.
$150 to fun? So $1,000? Okay. I would accept that if that is what is required for you to maintain a healthy mental health life, whatever. It's not what I would do because this is an emergency and I would want to get out of it as quick as possible. And I know I'm losing money in the best years of my life for compound growth for any retirement fund and any investing ever. So knowing what I know, I would not do that. But if that is required for you to make any change in your life, I will accept that. So now we're probably talking at least a year and a half. Because just even giving ourselves that 150, I can tell we're going to get a little loose. I'm thinking year and a half, 2 years maybe until all this. And this is a bad mess. This is bad. It's going to be in collections. This is going to be terrible. You might be able to negotiate with collections and pay a little less on that Apple Card once it goes to it. But $150 on fun. I'm incredibly skeptical on that. What's important now, if you are going to do that, if you're going to commit to this, if you're going to commit to actually bettering your life, you're going to download couple budgeting apps, use your favorite one after playing with them, and then you're very strict. You're very strict. If you're better with cash, you can use the envelope system that's been around since cash has existed. You can put a food envelope here, $300 in here, groceries, I mean, and you don't buy anything that's groceries unless you're using that envelope, and nothing from that envelope is used anywhere else except for to buy groceries. And essentially it's used like that for every other category we put here. Oh, and then you have your Verizon bill that's taken out $175, or like $150. So I mean, there's other payments. Figure that out. Figure out your phone bill situation. Or one of the best Verizon plans there is, if not the best, is like a 85. So I don't know what's up. Figure it out. Look in your account because that's bad. That's taking money you need. Now, fun fact: another part of this conversation that has not been had yet. When you get your place and when you're here. Or somewhere, wherever, or even starting now, I don't care. Your life doesn't exist either. One reason you're not having fun, congratulations, is because the moment you get off of delivering for Amazon, you're delivering food to people that have money or who are going into debt by spending money on DoorDash, as we see on the channel all the time. But you're serving them. And by serving them, you are going to be getting paid money. And that money will be paying off your debts a lot quicker and paying for your rent so you have a place to live. You'll be doing that. You'll be working 12 to 14 hours a day. Does it suck? Absolutely. Does it suck worse to be in the situation you're in? Yes. Is it better when you're on the other side of it because you make the temporary sacrifice now? Absolutely. Are you willing to work that much? To go crazy and pay all this off?
I don't think so.
Then I fear you don't realize how terrible, drastic, deadly this situation is. And that answer alone makes me think that almost none of this is actually going to happen. Because I don't think you realize how bad it is. If it's something you're not willing to sacrifice to and work for like crazy, then that literally means you don't know how bad it is, which means you're not willing to do all the other things required to take care of it.
It's also just a safety thing. I wouldn't want to go and drive anymore after doing a 10-hour day of driving.
Okay, I mean, there's a million other options. That was an example. You can pick up a job on the weekend. I don't care what it is. You're just working, finding ways to bring in money every single second that you are not at your other job already. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do for work? Because there is that part. You're in a... I mean, it pays okay, but for this area, it's not going to be sustainable and it's not going to grow your life. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do? What are things that you are interested in for careers?
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the real estate. Right. I kind of keep this one on the back burner. I don't foresee it happening. I've thought about becoming a nurse, but I just don't see it.
Why don't you see it?
Because more so for the hours. I don't like the 10, 12-hour shifts they work.
That's not every nursing job required. My mom's a nurse, and she has a job where she just works 9 to 5. There's a lot of things within the field of nursing that does not require that specifically. Is that the standard one? Sure, but there's a lot.
Well, because I was thinking about becoming an RN, but...
Yeah, registered nurse. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't know too much about it either. I mean, you could be a nurse at a family care clinic. You wouldn't be working those crazy, again, 9 to 5. There's a lot of options. There's so many options. But does nursing specifically interest you? That's what I'm curious about right now. I mean, nursing does interest me for sure.
Okay, what about it?
I mean, I've always wanted to go into the healthcare field. Mm-hmm. Since I was young, I wanted to become a veterinarian. But then I was just thinking a little bit more realistically. Not that it's not realistic, but at least in my terms, I wouldn't want to go to school for X amount of years just to... More so, I could become a veterinarian. Or I could become a doctor for almost about the same amount of time, because they
as a nurse?
No, as a doctor.
A vet or a doctor, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Same amount of time for either. Okay.
And it just feels like that's just way too much when I could go to school for something else and make way more money. I
mean, okay, nurse, yeah, they don't make crazy money, but you can make a crap ton of money as a medical doctor. I mean, nurses veterinarians, they make a good amount of money compared to the cost of the degree. Not the best ROI, but whatever. But yes, for nursing, one thing that might be worth considering, maybe not now, maybe after we're out of the death spiral of debt. I'm forgetting what the actual position is called. It's what my mom started with before she went back to school for nursing.
Like a CNA?
Is that the nursing assistant?
Certified nursing assistant.
Yeah, that might be something worth considering to see if you actually enjoy. You'll be doing the work. You'll be essentially the grunt. Yeah. That's fine. But you'll be able to see if that's something you're more willing to pursue as a career and put your time and money into in school. Because guess what? You're not going to borrow a single cent to go to school either. You'll be going to a community college, which is great for nursing. And you'll be cash flowing it because you're going to be working your butt off. But that's also all after the death spiral. But that's cool. No, I'm glad that you find interest in there. It's a bit away because we're taking care of this. Yeah. But think about that. Think of being the assistant or whatever that position is called of the nurse. See if you enjoy that field actually.
Because I mean, I've already looked into community colleges because so now that I'm a delivery driver now, I actually used to work at the Amazon warehouse a while ago, and they said if you stay there for a year that they'll pay for a good sum of your college or maybe all your college, but you're contracted to still work there as you go to college.
And you already left.
Yeah. I just couldn't do that job anymore. But that's when I was really looking into nursing because I already plan to go to community college. I don't plan on going to some big time college.
What do you plan on going to, just in general or for nursing if that's what you decide?
Oh, for nursing.
Okay, cool. Okay, but not just as a general concept. We're just going to go to community college.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay. If you decide nursing. I highly recommend that. That's a great field. There's a nursing shortage. Healthcare industry in general has a shortage. So you'll definitely be able to find, I think, positions that more cater to what you want to do. If you want to do a 9 to 5, definitely consider that. But for right now, focus on this, dude. And I'm terrified that you don't realize how scary this situation is, how much this is preventing you from living the rest of your life in a good, healthy financial way. For real. So, any final thoughts?
Thanks for doing this. It was, I mean, it's nice to see somebody else put it all on paper and like see it in person. I don't know, it's easier to see it this way rather than me try to do it myself.
For Josh, lots of mooching off of his friends and being delinquent on lots of different payments. I mean, there's nothing good financially speaking here other than a potential new job that is giving him more money, but that's hard to give a point to because he doesn't have anywhere to live right now, even close to the job. So, and really bad car debt, really hard place to get out of and seeming like not willing to do real sacrifices to actually get there. Hammer financial score 0 out of 10. Follow me on all the socials and check out all the fun links in the description. Subscribe. Thanks.